Over the past year and a half, I've only watched one TV show, and that is extremely embarrassing, especially when you know what TV show that is. But I'm going to get to that in a few minutes. Let me explain my very weird relationship with TV shows and why I want to actually watch more, but I just struggle with it. My first struggle is that the consistency. I don't get a chance to sit down and watch something every single day. But if I'm watching a TV show, which is basically a big long movie, a big long story, I want to be able to consistently be in that world, to engage with the characters. But in the past, my experiences have been I watch a few episodes, then a couple of days go by, I kind of forget what happened in the first few episodes, so on and so forth, and it's just really, really annoying. And I found myself gravitating towards shows that have shorter episodes that I could watch on my lunch, maybe before bed, whatever, you know what I mean. And there have been so many shows that have just ticked those boxes, and it's been great. But whenever it comes to shows that have longer episodes, like an hour long or even more, I just don't watch them, and I don't like myself for it. And this year I wanted to be a goal that I actually watch some shows, because if you think of some popular TV shows right now that have hour-long episodes, I guarantee you I've probably not watched that show. And I like to say I'm into movies and all that sort of stuff, so I need to culture myself. And every single time I do watch a show, I just love it. I have a really good time with it. But one thing I've never done on this channel is actually review a TV show. For me, reviewing a movie, it's like fine. I've been doing it for like 3 years now. It makes sense to me. I know how to do it. But a TV show is this huge beast that I don't know how to review. And today I'm actually going to be reviewing the TV show that I've watched, and it's the only show that I've watched in the past year and a half, and it is extremely embarrassing. And I do not want you to judge me. You will judge me, but please just don't. I was sick for the past week, extremely sick, and I was like, right, I need to watch something. And I was scrolling and I found the most simple watching show ever. Just give a guess what this embarrassing show could be. No, guess, go for it. What's the show? Yes, I watched Beast Games. And listen, I know you're like, okay, this guy, what is... I know, but trust me, I had some expectations. I don't really care about Mr. Beast. I don't care about all the controversies. I don't care about all the drama, whatever. Do not care about Mr. Beast. I just knew it was going to be a little bit like Squid Game, where people don't actually die. And I just wanted to watch something whilst being very, very sick. And I watched it, and I have things to say, and I'll be very brief. And by saying it's actually not as bad as I expected it. It was very engaging, very refreshing, and actually quite fun to watch. And the episodes were like an hour long. So now if I'm if I'm able to watch a Mr. Beast TV show, surely I'm able to watch so many iconic shows. I don't even want to name these shows that I've not watched. Okay, I've not watched Twin Peaks. Sue me. I know. I've wanted to watch it for... I know. I've watched Breaking Bad though, but I just haven't watched Better Call Saul. I know. It's really embarrassing. But anyway, I made lists about things I want to talk about, the Beast Games, and there are some things I want to say. So I'm going to say those things, and it's just going to be an old-fashioned review of a TV show. My first time doing this. So what is Beast Games about? It's kind of like Squid Game. You have 1,000 contestants. They have to do challenges. People slowly get eliminated, and one person at the end will win $5 million, the highest winning amount in history on TV, whatever, something along those lines. You get the general picture, and I made some notes, and let's talk about the Beast Games. Yep. The first thing I want to say is that the editing in this is so dramatic. It's just like the most over the top thing ever. When things are dramatic, they're dramatic. They like put on like this violent, sappy music, or whenever something is really exciting, they just cut so fast. There were times where the tone just shifted, and it felt like they're editing a Western movie. The aspect ratio changes, it gets really, really slow. There's a cowboy music playing, but whenever there's like an explosion, you get like millions and millions of shots, or a train hits something. The editing is just absolutely wild. And I think it's interesting because this show is the bridge kind of like between YouTube and mainstream TV, even though this is on Prime. And it was very interesting to see how they would change the YouTube form, where it's just attention to TV. And I think at times it does work. It keeps it entertaining, but then at times the show felt so sluggish because of its editing. They didn't really know how to make the episode an hour long, so they were just like cut away to some sob story or to something that had nothing really to do with the show. And that is one little problem I had with it at times, is that it just felt extremely slow. This is 10 episodes long, and I really do feel like if whoever was in charge of all of this had the creative control, they would have made this a lot shorter. But the 10 episodes definitely felt very slow. But don't get me wrong, some episodes where the tasks and the challenges were fun, was very engaging and very refreshing. And refreshing in the sense that I don't really watch things like this, but I found the actual challenges in this show really, really fun. And some of the ones I wrote down were you had a group of people and a ball was falling down from the ceiling and they all had to catch it, like one ball. And it was very interesting because everybody obviously gets like mad at each other when they drop it because they get eliminated. Or you have that like train, is that a philosophy? I don't really know. Basically, you have two people on the track and which one are you going to save? You're going to save the one, blah, blah, blah. You know that one. Then we have, I thought this, like all the psychological games were extremely fun where people would get to be selfish, just steal money. But basically, there were 10 people in a row, right? They couldn't see each other, whatever. And in the middle, there was a big pot of money, $1 million. And in order, the people would go out of their room, they would take whatever amount they want and they go back into their house, right? The reasonable thing to do would be everybody takes 100,000, but no, that's not what happened. People were very selfish and then there were feuds. And I think this show perfectly is able to showcase people suffering, and then we watch on the couch for our entertainment, because you have somebody absolutely breaking down that they're like, I want to pay my mum's blah 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 bill, and they're crying on here, and then the guy beside her is like, oh sorry, I just stole 600,000, ha ha ha. I know it's quite a sinister way to look at it, but this show knows what it's doing, and I think it does it very, very effectively. And then the show gets a little bit obnoxious at times when it's like, we broke 1 million world records, we used 300 million cameras. It's like, nobody really cares. The cool thing about the show is the challenges and the relationships and watching people struggle and suffer. And I know that sounds crazy to say aloud, I know it does, but trust me, when you watch this and you watch people fall apart and like think they have all the power and then lose the power and then start breaking down, crying, like all these dynamics is what makes this show great. But anyway, on to the next challenge that I liked. Obviously, they had like a section where somebody could win an island, which was kind of cool, like hide and seek type of games. Obviously, so many bribes in this show, and trusting in people and breaking trust and the mental torture people go through. Like there's one challenge where 3 people go in a box and you have to decide one person who's going to be eliminated. The gaslighting, the manipulation, it is terrifying. This show also poses a very interesting question, and I think it holds a mirror up to us, because whilst we're watching this, we're like, I would never steal 600,000 from another person. That is sickening. I would never do that. I would be fair. I would be blah, 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 blah. But I think it holds a mirror to us and asks us, would we really be fair? Because if you're presented with $1 million at your feet, you could just press a button and it's yours. Do you really think you could be the better person and not take it? Because I think a lot of people, including myself, are like, I would be fair. I would split the money very, very equally. I want everybody to get their fair share and I'm going to walk out of there, blah, blah, blah. But realistically, who would actually do that? And I think this show really does hold a mirror to its audience. And whilst watching it, I was like, oh, there's no way I would do that. And deep down, when I had to think about it after, I was like, wow, I probably would do that. And I was like, so many so many internal conflicts in my brain, and it does that absolutely perfectly. But the one thing I just didn't like about this was how dramatic and over the top at times it was. Like, especially towards the end, every single time somebody got eliminated, we had this huge, massive sob story where they're blah, blah, blah. Just all of these things that they really try to force you to care about these characters. Realistically, you're not watching this to like take interest in the characters. You're watching this to see who wins, the challengers, to watch people suffer. I think the show really tries its hardest for you to care. And at times, especially towards the end of the show, I was like, can we just get to it? Please, come on. And I think at times it just felt like a YouTube video. And obviously, the formula isn't perfect, transitioning from YouTube to TV, because sometimes it did feel like a YouTube video, like with the voiceovers. And again, as I said, with the drama or whatever, it just did not work for me. I was there for the challenges, and I think at times it just took way too long. But the budget for the show was absolutely crazy, because this is a spoiler. If you're going to watch this, don't listen to the next part. But they actually double the winning budget. So the person actually who wins everything, right, wins 10 million. And so many times throughout the show, they're like, here, do you want $1 million? Do you want $100,000? The budget for this show was absolutely insane. And as I was watching this, I was like, how can they afford? How are they going to make money? But then I realized it's produced or whatever by Amazon, multi-billionaires. So this probably means absolutely nothing to them. And I think it's cool to give I feel like using Mr. Beast saying he's a YouTuber is like, he's not really a YouTuber. He's like so much more than that. I was going to say it's cool to give YouTubers a chance on TV, but Mr. Beast has such a reach that nobody realistically ever is going to have. So it's not really giving YouTubers a chance. You know what I mean? But I guess we can call this like the YouTubification of TV, because as I was watching this, I was curious as to what is TV entertainment or whatever going to be like in like 20, 30 years. Because whenever I watch TV now, I notice like the pace is slow. Just they drag everything out. And obviously YouTube is the absolute opposite end of the spectrum. And it's going to be interesting to see what things are going to be like in 20 or 15 years. It's going to be interesting. I don't know. Anyway, back to the budget. You can definitely tell the budget was absolutely huge. The set, the production, just everything. Really cool to watch. But at the same time, I do think this is kind of like an unsustainable standard, because having a budget of 100 million plus for a show like this is just never going to be the standard. And I feel like if this is like one of the first YouTube TV things, whatever, have they set the bar just like extremely high with an extremely high budget and extremely high expectations that it just, the barrier of entry is just going to be absolutely impossible? I'm not really sure. It feels like it though. I was watching this and I was like, oh, this is so cool. What if like another YouTuber made a TV show, like, I don't know, Peter McKinnon, I don't know if I'm saying his name correctly, made a thing about photography or whatever, but the expectations are definitely going to be very different, because the budget, everything was just absolutely crazy here. And whenever I check the ratings, this had like a 5.8 out of 10, and I think that's just the general hate for Mr. Beast. I don't really know the drama there. I don't really care about the drama. I was just there to watch people be greedy, steal things, fight, and I got exactly that. I got easy watching, empty brain TV, and it did exactly what I wanted it to do, and I had a good time with it. I don't know. But that's my opinion on the Beast games. Have you watched this show? What did you think about it? Don't really tell me about the drama, because I don't really care. Don't really care about Mr. Beast. I have no parasocial attachment to him, and I never will. But I think the point of this video is that if I can watch a TV show like this, surely I can make time to watch a proper TV show. Not like, I don't want to be like belittling this show and be like a proper TV, whatever. Hopefully this actually motivates me and tells me that I'm able to watch TV shows, because I want to watch Twin Peaks. I'm going to watch Twin Peaks. I'm going to watch Twin Peaks. And this is my sign that I'm going to do that. Yeah, I felt that was a whole lot of yapping. Can you tell? I didn't make a video last week. Like, I feel like I'm just yapping. But anyway, yapping over. I'm really sorry. Don't really know what happened there. I'm going to stop talking, but yeah, let me know what TV show I should watch. I'm very, very curious. And what's your opinion on Beast Games? If you actually watched the show. Never, ever did I think I would be reviewing a Mr. Beast TV show. But anyway, here we are. I hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye. Holy God, that was so much yapping.